Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to my 12 Strong movie review. So, this movie is directed by a guy named Nikolai Fugisig or Fugelsieg. I don't know. I've never heard of this guy before. I looked him up. I don't think he's done anything else. He's got a couple more things out on the slate. But it stars Chris Hemsworth, Thor, Michael Shannon, also known as General Zod, Michael Pena, and there's this dude, Naveed Negobon, who plays an Afghanistan general he's the leader of one of the factions who fights the Taliban in Afghanistan. Also, there's smaller roles by Rob Riggle, which is weird to see him as a serious character. He was the guy who was like in the face, in The Hangover, and also William Fichtner's in this. Um, who he's a great actor, man. I immediately when I saw him in that desert uniform, I thought of him in Black Hawk Down. Anyways, there's a few aesthetic choice. Well, before I go into all that, this movie's about this classified mission, which obviously didn't get declassified until 2012. So they wrote a book about it, and now there's a movie. Which is cool because otherwise we never would have heard about this story. It's about how right after 9/11, these were the first guys to go into Afghanistan just a couple weeks later. See, when Fahrenheit 9/11 came out with Michael Moore, he criticized that, oh, we didn't go in there for months. And I thought so, too. I thought, oh, we didn't go in there for months. But no, that was not the case. Within a few weeks, we were already there, man. Maybe days we were already there. It's just you couldn't really say anything, right? You don't want to broadcast that stuff. Technically, that's kind of a foolish thing to do. So this highly improbable mission, it took 12 special forces guys. They went in there and they fought with about 500 of these Afghanistan fighters. To this day, it turns out the Taliban or Al Qaeda consider this their greatest defeat. As we took this huge stronghold away from them, and it was right at the beginning. And so it's about that whole mission. I don't want to give too much away, but this movie does suffer from a lot of cliche things that you see in war movies. Like, okay, they're with the family. Okay, bye. Okay, like, okay, yeah, that's okay. It's really cliche. And then it got really bad at one scene where so many war movies I see this scene where it's like, oh, did we get him? Oh, it's like, yeah, yeah, we got him, Johnny. We got him. Oh, yeah. It was almost like cringy, but it okay, but that's all fine. There were some relationships that really, I feel like they were just there so some actors can get screen time, which I understand that, like there's this relationship with this little kid who was there to guard the soldiers because the politics behind that area, man, that area is such a horrible place to live. There's constant like warlords and factions fighting for control of the nation. Some want like this insane Sharia law. Others want a little more freedom where women can be educated. There's this terrible scene in there. I don't want to spoil, but um, oh man, it's not not all Afghanistan is this. It's a very very divided. I don't even know if you could call it a country. It's like they're constantly at war with themselves, and one of the most pathetic lines in the movie is one of the Afghanistan generals said like now what'll probably happen is America will just become another warring faction within our country, and that's just how it is. Which is sad. There's so many ideologies and when people are willing to die because they think they're going to go become wealthy in this paradise place, how do you stop that? How do you reason with that? They'd rather die right there than reason with you. I don't know. I don't know what that answer is. And for us to be over there, it's something that I liked. I liked that this movie showed that like Afghanistan is not our enemy. There was a group of terrorists in there, and this whole idea that Afghanistan harbors a terrorist, it's like it's anarchy, it's chaos. You can't. What do they want to? How do they? Can't, they're fighting each other. They can't. You know, when you have that level of chaos, you're gonna hide in the mountains. They don't have the resources. They don't have a united nation to say, okay, this group is the enemy of the bad guy. They don't have that. I don't even know if you can call that a country. It's more like it's an area. And that's sad. And the misery of that was translated very well. The soldiers themselves, which I think is what people have a problem with, like I said, some of the relationships didn't need to be there. The only relationship that I cared about in this movie was between Chris Hemsworth, who plays the captain, and the general of the Afghanistan forces. I think that that was the best relationship in the movie, and it does have a little kind of like an arc to it. You know, Chris Hemsworth had never been in combat. He'd been the leader of this group for about 2 years, but only in training missions. But they all supported him and they believed in him. And I didn't know, you know, it's see the thing is these are special forces guys. These are not your run of the mill infantry guys. And I've met guys, your run of the mill guys, who you know, I'm gonna be a hero, and then they actually get into combat and they just freeze up. But these are special forces guys. These are not. This is the top of the top. You know, it did it did bother me. I thought it was a little strange that none of them had helmets on. I know special forces they get away with things like they could have beards and they don't have to follow the exact uniforms. Like they even have their rank on or their names. Not at least not Chris Hemsworth's character or Michael Shannon's. So I mean, it's they give him a lot of leeway, but I'm like, dude, shouldn't you have a Kevlar helmet on? Come on now. But I feel like that was like again an aesthetic choice, just to show their face more. I guess I don't know. I wouldn't go into battle with no helmet. Uh, anyway, but the acting is all good. Um, someone else made this comparison already, and it sucks because I had already. I swear, I thought of it on my own, and then somebody said it, and I was like, "Hey, that's what I was thinking. You stole my idea, but I'm gonna say it anyway." And I'm telling you, I had already thought of it on my own separately. But I would put this movie on the same level as about a 13 Hours. A movie that came out last year by Michael Bay, who I hate, but sometimes he makes good movies like 13 Hours. I'd put this one like that. This is not a Hacksaw Ridge. This is not Black Hawk Down. It's about like 13 Hours. It's that level of movie, which is good. It's a fun movie. You know, watch it with your buddies. If you like war movies, you're gonna like this one. If you're a film snob, you will not like this one. I can already see like those leftist film snobs over at What the Flick going, oh, war, huh? Oh, this movie was terrible. Cliche things. Did we get them? But I like it. I like war movies. These were great heroes, man, and it's so nice to see them get acknowledged. Now that it was declassified. There is a memorial outside of New York, a War Horse Memorial, that a lot of people didn't maybe understand why there's a modern troop on a horse. These guys were fighting artillery and tanks on horses because they had nothing else there. That's what these people had. Um, and man, I admire their courage for doing that. And they all wanted to do this. It's not like they were like, oh no, not me. They wanted to do that, man. These special forces guys, they 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 are the shit. Now again, this is not like it's like Hacksaw Ridge. I think I would have given that movie like a 96. That's one of the best movies I saw that year. This movie is a very serviceable movie. Um, and I'm probably gonna buy it on Blu-ray, DVD, whatever. Well, actually, now I just do digital downloads. Um, if I had to describe this movie in one word, man, what I'd hate to use the word cliche. It's a little cliche because that has negative connotations to it. I would say standard. Let's use the word standard. It's a very standard war film. It's an above average war film. I've seen some terrible ones like Pearl Harbor. Oh my God, what a pile of garbage! It's not even a war film really. Anyway, I'm gonna give this movie uh 78. So that's above average. That's like a B for me. Remember, a C for me is a 50, so it's about a B, just shy of an A. Yeah, it's a very standard movie, and if you like something like again like 13 Hours or even like Backdraft, like those type of hero movies, based on real life heroes, is a true story, then you're gonna like this movie. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Okay, bye.